Hey guys, welcome back to Contest Prep University. I'm Joe Klemczewski with Adam Atkinson. We are moving into the next episode in the Peaking Ladder series. So the next rung is going to be minerals. And we always think about sodium and potassium first as if those are the only two minerals in the body, which we'll address. They're not. You could improve your chances of homeostatic mineral and water stability, intracellular, extracellular hydration if you have an entire good base of stable mineral intake. But Adam, in terms of controlling fullness in the muscle tissue and making sure that you don't have a lot of subcutaneous water in that dreaded spillover, sodium is a good tool. And I think you and I agree that potassium is something to maybe keep your eye on, but we're not going to typically add that much or take it out. But certainly sodium is that big pivot point. And tell me all about how you control sodium through peak week.
Yeah, so for my clients, I typically have them just keep their sodium pretty stable all week. There might be some small changes upward as food gets really high, because just like we talked about with protein and fat, you might have to chase that up a little bit with the foods you're consuming. But for the most part, I do keep it pretty stable within a range. And on show day, it's making sure they're getting enough sodium, making sure for some reason that they maybe didn't salt their food. I've had that happen with clients where I felt like they just weren't as tight. And I asked, how are you cooking your food? Did you season it like normally? Well, I thought on show day, I wouldn't season it. And then we're adding a lot of salt backstage. So I just had a girl reach out to me the other day. She had won the overall, and she just felt like she didn't look her best. She had looked good all week, and her coach more so gave her a meal plan and told her not to salt anything all week. And you could see a huge difference from the week before to the show day that she was definitely very sodium flat. And she said, I felt like I had this water in my stomach that I'd never seen before. And by looking at the context of her peak, I said, you need to talk to your coach about keeping sodium in, because I think her coach did a good job with her aside from, that. And she was in a contract with him. And I said, why don't you, talk to him about sodium intake? And if that coach learns how to do that, that'll make them, a better coach. So I'm definitely happy to provide that information. And, hopefully they're going to work through that and make some changes. But she was the epitome of sodium flat. And I know you've posted some photos, and I have quite a few on my phone of clients I've seen who were sodium flat. And just a little bit of salt can make a huge difference within 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, and that would be my point is, again, just like everything we talk about in terms of keeping the variables very tight and controlled, that way a little can make a lot of difference. So I agree, as people are getting toward the end of the week and you're getting on stage, you're going to be pumping up backstage, you're posing, you're sweating, you need probably more sodium than you've had all week, but it doesn't mean a ton. I'll give you an example. I had a client who was super flat, and he really needed more food, more carbs, everything, and on the day before the contest. And so, we opted for a couple meals out where I knew the foods, the protein sources were going to be pretty high sodium, and it worked, but I could almost see a tiny bit of filminess. And I thought, man, maybe we just went over just a little too far. Then I had another client just this week who sent me a photo. Here's how we did at the show. Joe won the show. It was great. But then that night I had a burger and fries, and here's a picture of me Sunday morning looking harder and fuller. And I said, that's great, but number one, it may give us a clue to use a little more sodium on contest day next time, but you also sweated and pumped up and posed all day, then you had that meal, then you slept for 8 hours, and you're showing me a picture of you just waking up with lymphatic drainage all being absorbed into your cardiovascular system. I said, so show me another picture in 4 hours and 8 hours and 12 hours, and let's see if that really holds up. And this is kind of information I think that's helpful for any coach, is to look at what impact do you have with a change like that now versus can it be sustained throughout the day?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you know as well as I do that change was from the sodium from the burger and fries more so than the burger and fries.
Exactly.
So that's how important sodium is. It's quick and it can be a very easy fix.
Mm-hmm. And guys, again, we have a lot of information on this during our Peak Week series, but we want to keep rolling through up to the next rung of the ladder of just things to consider through the peaking process. So thanks for watching and listening to this one. We will see you in the next one when we turn over to some of the training aspects. We will catch you then.